time for Buddy Chat, and I'm here. And if you are here, will you please let me know that you're here so that I will know? It doesn't always pull up on my phone. Let's see what we've got here. It's coming. It's coming. If you're here, please let me know you're here because you know that it doesn't tell me. But you know what? It's such a pretty day. We got like a foot of snow yesterday. Snowed all day long. It was a dreary day. It was a great day just to get things done. Today, the skies are blue. The sun is shining. It's 40 degrees. The snow is melting and the icicles on the house are dripping and dripping. In fact, one icicle, they were huge, huge, fell off and broke one of my lawn chairs. I'm not happy about that. Hey, Joyce. Hey, Lynn and Debbie from Daytona Beach. I understand you're a little cold down there, Debbie. And Rhonda is from Arkansas. I'm so glad you tell me where you are because I forget. Sometimes I don't know where I am. I don't know if you guys aren't like that. I know that. I know that. Well, this is such an exciting week because we've already started our around the block education. I can't remember what it's called. I think that's what it's called. We've already begun that, and it is fun. We are learning so much. Linda Bradteen had hers. Melinda Bigley is doing hers right now, and it is so fun. I love it. I'm learning different things. Everybody does something different, right? We don't always do the same thing, and that's the way it was intended to be. We don't have the same ideas, thoughts, talents. We don't. And so that's why we share, and I love it. Hey, Deborah from Minnesota and Marilyn from St. George. Alice, is it snowing? Please don't tell me it's snowing. We're supposed to get another little burst of weather. Well, actually, I don't think I see anything in the forecast at all. The burst was this morning. But if you're getting snow, that means it's going to be coming down to Utah. Keep it, please. Although our mountains need it. The Great Salt Lake is getting a little low, and we don't want that. A few weeks ago, well, I think it was just last week, I mentioned to you, because we just had Christmas, and my family did this unbeknownst to me. They tricked me. They like to trick me. They did a white elephant gift. And it was my kids' idea. They said, let's do white elephant. I thought, oh, that sounds kind of fun. So I went and got some white elephants, and I was all ready. I was the only one. Out of 23 people, I was the only one. Everybody else went around my house and got things that belonged to me and wrapped them as the white elephant. I know, it was crazy. Hey, Heidi. Totally crazy. And they pulled out one gift that boys had actually brought back from Chile, right here. Chile is where it came from. So we have these little figurines from Chile. And remember I told you that when they brought them out, I think I even posted a look on my face a couple weeks ago, where I was just, because that was the same reaction the first time they gave them to me. And my husband actually forgot what they did. I'm not going to show you what they do, but these are the cute little figurines that they brought out. Cute, aren't they? They're all hand carved out of wood from Chile. So I'm sure that the people making it got a kick out of them, because I know that my boys, when they gave it to me, they do things just to make me scream, scare me, or something. Well, these, it was a little bit crazy. So when you pick them up, the legs pop down. So if you pick them up, the legs pop down. So you can imagine what's under their skirts, okay? I tell you, I have to keep those under lock and key in my curio, or the grandkids get them out and they like to play with them. I know, it was a little crazy. Okay, so we were talking about education around the block. Your sister-in-law wrapped up her mom's slippers as a white elephant. Heidi, that's funny. It took me, it was only the second gift out of 23, only the second gift where they pulled something out. And I said, no, that is mine. The first thing I thought, how did they get another one of those, the first gift? But the second gift was definitely mine because it was a brick that I picked up in New York. And I picked it up off the road, out of the river actually, under the Brooklyn Bridge. And that's a memento that I love. I totally love it. All right, so we're doing education around the block, and this is part of what mine looks like. I'm not going to show you it all. I'm not going to do a spoiler, but I think it's pretty darn cute. I love my colors because it's red and kind of white and kind of blue, but it's fun. All right, so Heidi, that's exactly what I said when they opened the first gift. I says, I have a puzzle just like that. And they all laughed, and I'm thinking, I got that in California in March. How did they get one just like it? I thought somebody must have liked it, and they got another one. I don't know. Hey, Pat. I'm so glad you're all here. So this is going to be presented on January 30th. So I still have another couple of weeks, a week and a half before I do mine with you, but that's going to be fun. And that day when we do this, it will be a little longer. It's going to be a project on the 10s at 10 in the morning. And I like to keep my lives about an hour or less. And this one might take a little longer because we're going to be sewing some things to it. And yes, we're going to be working in sewing. I like that everybody is working in a different area of expertise and showing you something different. If we all did the same thing, that would be so boring, right? This is not going to be boring. There are 8 of us with 8 different ideas, and I like it. All right, I was asked earlier, just this morning, I believe, maybe yesterday, about the fabrics on this. This class is coming up on February 13th. We're going to have a prep class on the 6th right here on Facebook. But the actual class is on the 13th. And I will make a post about this after we finish here so that you can see if you wanted to sign up for this class, you still can. It is a live Zoom class. I love live Zoom classes because you can ask questions. We can discuss if something you don't understand, and we go over every portion of the project, every portion. There is not one thing on here that you can say, I don't understand. Even if you have to go back and watch it, I'm going to go through every single part of the bag, and I love. So Heidi, you have a question about this? Project on the 10s is tomorrow. I'm going to talk about that again in a minute. Heidi, ask me your question, and I'll cover it right now too. So someone asked me this morning to explain the fabric choices. All right, this fabric right here is the main fabric. All right, because I have it broken up in the pattern, and I only broke it up. It doesn't mean you have to do it this way. Yes, Mavis, the class is recorded, so if you don't attend, if you're not able to be there live, you can still get it, and you'll get everything we talked about. Everything. Nothing will be left out. You'll get the recording. You'll even get it later that very same day. So if you have to work and can't attend the class, you can make it that night. It's okay. The only thing about bags is that they're oftentimes 10 hours. It takes a while to make a bag. There's lots of bits and pieces, and this one is no different. There are a lot of bits and pieces. So some of it I'm going to have pre-done before the class. It doesn't mean you're not going to know how to do it because, like, there's 2 sides. I'll have one side done, only because it's going to really save some time. Because I want to be able to get through it all, and you don't want to sit with me for 10 hours, right? No. So I'll have part of it pre-done, and that's okay. The fold-over elastic, I believe, is, let me see. Let me grab one out. Okay, this is the fold-over elastic that I always purchase. I get mine from By Annie. I know that there's other brands. It's 3/4. 3/4. So that's how wide the fold-over elastic is. But I know that there are many brands out there, not just By Annie, although I do like the By Annies. Okay, so there are 3 different fabrics. There's your main, your contrasting, and your coordinating. And I broke it up that way only so that you can look at this and say, oh, now the coordinating fabric is this one. Not that it coordinates any less than this one or contrasts any more. It's just to give a difference in what the fabrics are so that you can see what I made out of each one. This is my main fabric. This is my coordinating. This is my contrasting. all right, just to give you a difference. And in the pattern, it will tell you what I cut out of my main fabric and what I cut out of my coordinating and what I cut out of my contrasting fabrics. All right, just so that you have an idea of what we're talking about. All right, like for instance, my main fabric right here, this was the one I loved the most. If I could have had the whole bag out of this, I would have just done that one. But also I did my little zipper tab out of the main fabric. I did bindings on the inside. I'm going to pull this out. I did my bottom bindings on the pockets on the inside out of the main fabric. And it looks like that's all I did. So the outside coordinating fabric is this one. It's not that it's any more outside than this pocket down here. It's just that I needed to have two colors. So that's my outside fabric. And that one I also made the handles with. That's all I did out of this one yellow fabric. All right. And then the contrasting, I did my lining. I did my handles. I did my binding on the outside of my pockets. And I did that because I needed 3 different fabrics. And so maybe how I've stated them, contrasting, complementary, whatever, it's just to give you 3 different fabrics. Does that make sense? Oh, Maureen, I love that bag too. I really do. And I'm excited to make another one because I'll get to make it with you. And I got me some real jazzy prints for this one. I hope they work out. I hope they look nice together because I went pretty wild on it. All right, Heidi, leather, would this work? And also, what is the width of the fold over? Yeah, I talked about the width of the fold over. The PU leather, you probably could. I don't see why you couldn't, because that's just a laminated cotton, kind of. Isn't that correct? At least that's how I put it in the same class. Okay. Hey, Gayla. Hey, Deborah. I'm glad you're all here. Okay, if you have more questions on this, please ask it because I am more than happy to answer your questions, and I want you to know what you're doing when you get into this because I love it. I love this bag. I love this bag. Do I say that all the time? I've even got another bag in my head. I'm thinking, oh, we're going to do that one. I need to do that one. There's so many bags and not enough time, right? But this is one of my favorite. All right, I will post a link to the class as soon as we finish here so that if you have not seen this one before, if you're new to our group, this will tell you where to find it and you can still join that class. Ah, Heidi, I'm just thinking of different ideas for the bag. I love different ideas. I love to take a recipe or a pattern and make it my own, and that's what I want you guys to do. When I do something, it doesn't mean you have to do it that way. It's yours, right? It's always yours. So please do it. Please, please. All right. Any more questions? All right. The thing I want to talk about today that I want to demo, because I like to bring ideas in here. Like you said, you like to make it your own. You like to think of new ways to do it. Well, that's what I like to do too. I like to find new ways to do things or a different way that maybe you haven't done, or maybe you think, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So that you will want to expand your repertoire, right? And this is just a fun thing that kind of came about because I needed it. Will I explain straight of grain, stretchy side or not stretchy? Does it really matter if you put SPF 101 on it, on the fabric? I didn't specify straight of grain on this because sometimes when I'm doing it, well, I've got SPF on this a lot. I've also got fusible fleece on it, so it's really not going to stretch. If you're worried about it stretching, because sometimes you want the direction of the fabric to go a certain way. If you're concerned about stretching, use starch. Just that spray starch, that is really good. Don't spray it heavily, just enough for you to get it created. Because once it's created, because this is quilted up here, it's really not going to go anywhere. All right. So a lot of times the way I cut it out it's because of the direction of the fabric. And I want it to face a certain way. So that's what makes me choose that. Hey, Kelly. She just got off work. And Rita is here. All right, and Deborah, you're the one that probably asked about this and you got your answer, if that helps. But I would suggest if you have any question on what fabrics go where, because you can see the prints and what they do. So like, for instance, the main fabric says it does the outside pockets. This is the outside pocket, so that is going to be the main fabric. This one says the outside, how did I say that? Oh, just the outside fabric. That would be the outside fabric. And I probably ought to let you know that as I was doing this, I really teetered with the fact of whether I wanted to quilt my outside fabric with my lining at the same time. And I decided not to. I almost did because I thought, oh, this will be perfect. I can just cut it out all out in one piece. But I wanted a good smooth edge right here with my zipper, which means I wanted to sandwich it in between the fabrics. If I had quilted these two together, I wouldn't be sandwiching it. I'd just be applying the zipper. And I didn't want that look right there. I wanted a nice finished edge for the zipper. So that's why I did it that way. Oh, Deanna, you just got home too? Well, I have been bustling and hustling around the house today. My sweet little ladies out in the coop. It was so cold this week. It was dropped below 0. And I know they have feathers. I know that they're used to cold weather. I know that they prefer a little chillier weather because they are covered in down. But when it drops below 0, I just don't have the heart to let it stay that cold. So we have a heater in there. It doesn't raise it up a lot. It just raises it a few, like above 0, which is okay with me. And so for 2 nights, I left the heater on for them, which I hope that they were happy because it was so darn cold. And today I went out there to turn it off and they were just sweating. You could tell they were sweating because now it is 40 degrees. So I went out there and turned the heater off and they are happy ladies. I tell you, I love my ladies. Janice, how's your weather in Colorado? Did you get the snow that we got yesterday? Because it was horrible. Maureen says, I agree with quilting just the outside. The lining does look nice. I know, I really like that. And we are going to be covering a zipper in the morning during our project on the 10s. I know we've talked about zippers before, and I love zippers. So I talk about zippers a lot, and anytime I can put it in a project, because I like pockets, I'm going to have a zipper in there. Or not. Sometimes there's slip pockets, yes, but whenever I can put a zipper in, I love it. So this has 3 zippers, and the project in the morning, did I show you I think I did. I think we talked about this. This is the fabric I'm going to be using, and yes, there is a zipper. And so it might take a little longer in the morning, but that's okay. It's recorded. If you can't stick around, if you got appointments, if you got places to be, or if you can't be here at all, that's okay. It'll be recorded. But here's the deal. Tomorrow, if you can watch live, everyone that watches live, you have to make a comment or I won't know you're watching live. Then there's a prize. I'm going to do a drawing. Okay? And I'll do the drawing probably later in the afternoon so that I can go in there and pull all the names and everything. But if you can watch live, tomorrow's the day to watch live. There is going to be a drawing. All right? So come in, but you have to say you're there. If you just come in and watch and don't say anything, it doesn't tell me you're here. So you got to come in, you got to say something, even as peekaboo, you got to say something. Tomorrow morning, we're going to do a drawing. I love drawings. I like fun stuff. All right, let's see. Janice said we had snow over the weekend and it was extremely cold yesterday and today was balmy, almost 50. Today we're balmy. We're in the 40s. It's dropped now. It's gone down. The sun is getting ready to set, so we're going to get cold again, but not down past 20. I love it. I love it. Tomorrow is always going to be on Mountain Time. So it's 10 o'clock Mountain Time. Central Time would be 11, but I kind of stick with Mountain because that's where I am, so I don't get totally confused. I had a meeting the other day with someone in Central Time. I got so confused. I thought, now what time is it? No, I don't. So I was late to the meeting. I didn't make it for the first 45 minutes. So Mountain Time, I'm always Mountain Time. If I get thrown off, I'm going to go crazy. All right. I even have my alarm set, so I know when I'm supposed to go on. All right. So today I want to talk about, there was a quilt I did not too long ago, and it was 10-inch blocks. They were 10-inch blocks. The whole quilt was 10-inch blocks. And it was really cute. It was red, white, and blue. It was for my son who's in the Army. So it was kind of a Quilts of Valor. It had stars on it. It was so pretty. I don't have it here with me. I've given it to him. But I went to put the binding on, and I couldn't find the perfect binding. But I had at least one square left over of every color. So guess what I did? I did a Scrappy Binding. I loved it. It tied the whole quilt in. So we're going to talk about binding today. Let's go to the sewing machine. I'm going to drop that lighting down just a little bit. All right, so I have all my strips right here. I just cut a 2.5-inch strip from each block. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put them right sides together, and you've probably done this before, but let's just go through it again. And I'm going to sew corner to corner. Now this is a great time if you have the Altera, the Destiny, or the Solaris to use that sensor line, your guideline. When it first came out, people were calling it what was it? They were calling it now I've forgotten. The laser. It's not a laser. It's not going to cut through anything. No, it's not a laser. It is a sensor. It's a guideline. And I'm just going to take these and I'm going to sew them from corner to corner. So whenever you do a binding, like when you do borders, let me go over here. When you do borders, see right there, I have done those on the angle, on corner to corner, that's on the bias. If you're doing a border, you're probably going to, whether you have the same color, different colors, whatever, you're going to do them end to end. And that's what it means when a pattern says do it end to end. It means you do it end to end. So you'd sew these two together. And that works on a binding, on a border. It does not work on a binding. And let me explain why. So right here is the one I just sewed. There I have it. This is my binding. Once I get it to this point, I'm going to cut those off. I'm going to cut it down to 1/4 inch. It really doesn't matter. I'm not going to measure it or anything. I'm just going to eyeball it. Okay, so I've got it down, cut down to 1/4 inch. And I'm going to press them one direction. I am not going to open them and press them open. I am not going to do that. And I'll explain to you why. On this one, I could either press it open or I could press it to one side. Most of the time I'm going to press to one side unless I really need it opened. But most of the time, just press to one side. So that's my border. My binding is a different story. I'm going to definitely press it to one side. I am not going to open it, and I'll explain that why in just a sec. And then I'm going to take it over and I'm going to press it like this before I put it on my quilt. Now the reason I don't want to open my seam, because if my seam is open and I roll it over like this, I might have a little, if I pulled on those, I'd have a little gap in between my stitches. And it's not that there's a gap that you can see, but what's going to happen, a couple of reasons, the binding gets more wear on your quilt than anything. the border doesn't take as much wear. But this is the edge of your quilt. There's a lot of wear. And if I have a space right there where it's just threads holding it together, there's no fabric underneath it, it's going to maybe come apart right there. You don't want that. So I always sew mine on the bias, press them to one side, fold them over, and press them. Another reason you don't want to do your bindings like this, because you think, well, wouldn't that look better? Because then they're joined and then they come around and they're in the same place, and it's not. Because see right here, my seam is in a different place. Well, that is the good thing about it, because I've got so much bulk right here. I've got 2 layers of fabric here. I got my quilt underneath it, so that's probably 2 more layers of fabric at least, unless you've got a piece quilt and you've got another seam in there. And then you've got your batting. If I had all of that in there and I pulled this over to quilt it, that's just way too much. And I don't want to have these seams going over the top of each other, because when they do, it just adds extra bulk in one place. So that's why you do, one of the reasons why you do it on a bias, and why you press your seam to one side. Those are the reasons. Alice says, I'm working on projects that call for 1/8 of an inch instead of 1/4. If I put the needle in the far left position to not skip stitches, which my Solaris already has been doing, what is the best foot to use to how to line it up? Alice, when I do that, I still use my J foot, because that's going to, and we're going to talk about this when we do our zippers, because the J foot is really my go-to foot. I would still use the J foot because it holds more of the fabric in place. It's going to grip everything. If you used your N foot, you have wobblies. If you used, and I would not, I'm trying to think how I can say this. I like to have my needle in my left-hand position if I'm skipping stitches, very definitely. And I would line it, I would find that sweet spot on my foot. Should we go over there? If I thought that I needed to have 1/8 of an inch, I would probably, and my needle is in my left-hand position, and you may have it all the way over, which is what I do a lot of the time, then I would find the sweet spot on my foot, and I would use my seam gauge right here to find out where that 1/8 of an inch lands. And then I would know exactly where to line it up. That's how I would do it. I would use my seam gauge, like right here. I'd put it down there, and I would look to see where it is. And then I know on my foot where that's going to be. And it may be right down the very center, or you can move your needle around so it is in the center, where you have a place where you can guide your fabric and know that it's going to be in the right place all the time. And it may be that if you used your edge joining foot or your blind hem foot, that has the center marker guide on it, that may be to help you guide that through. Let me put that one on. So right here, I keep this foot right near where I'm working all of the time. So with my needle in left-hand position, it may be that my edge joining foot is exactly where I want that needle to land. And that guide is going to help me. So just find the foot that's going to help you the most. This edge joining foot is going to cover as much ground as the J foot, as in keeping your fabric in place. One of the things I have a really hard time with is if I've got a wobbly foot, then I've got a wobbly stitch. And the wobbly feet that I'm talking about might be the N foot, or the candle wicking foot, or the zipper foot. Those are all wobbly feet to me. And I have a really hard time sewing straight. I mean, it's not just that, I mean, I can just sew this perfectly and guide that fabric through, but my stitch is not going to be straight. There'll just be a little divot once in a while. Even a little divot is going to bother me. I like things to be a little bit crooked sometimes. I like things that are not balanced all the time. But I tell you, when I've got a stitch and I want it straight, I want it straight. I had a picture in my house that just looked like it needed to hang a little bit crooked, just because it was made out of old barn wood and it just looked good on the wall at an angle. I didn't want it like this. I wanted it like this. People would come in my house and they would straighten that. And I'm thinking, that's not supposed to be straight. Put it back. Anyway, but there's some things that need to be that way and some things that don't. And I want a straight stitch. I want a straight stitch. I don't want to be fussing and I don't want to have to work that hard to get it. And we have great tools. We've got feet that we can use that will do that for us, that will help us. So if the J foot works for you and you can find that sweet spot in the foot, if the edge joining foot or your blind hem foot works for you, then use them. I would think that the 1/4 inch foot with a guide is not going to help you because that's clear on that right side. So if you're missing a stitch, definitely use something that's going to hang on to it. Oh, whoops, I lost you. Oh yeah, I do too, Alice. I don't use it very much. I should. She said she has one of those gadgets with the holes in it for placement. I do too. But I have my seam gauge sitting there most all the time. Whereas that tool, I'm not sure where it's at. It's a little ruler. I really like it, but I don't have it with me. All right. Does anybody have any more questions? Ask me questions on the binding. Ask me questions on this coming up. You can ask me questions on this, which I'm really excited. Tomorrow morning is not going to come fast enough. It's going to be fun. But remember, it's going to take a little longer. If you have questions on this, please ask. Or anything else that we might have out there that you have a question on, please ask me, because I am ready and here for you. See, that didn't take too long. Tonight didn't take very long. That's good because you need to gear up for tomorrow because it's going to take a minute. And I'm going to explain, and the pattern this time has pictures in it. And that pattern will be free, and I will post it right after we finish tomorrow. It'll be found in files. So I know that we have a lot of new people, and a lot of new people that are coming because of this, which I'm really excited about. So if you don't know the things that we do here, it's fun. We have classes. I have a website, so if you want to go in and take a class, I have 75 classes in there that you can take a class. I have machine owner classes, I have project classes, I have workshops, I have feet classes for the sergers and for the sewing machine. I have where was I? Oh, so I have a website with a lot of classes on it. I have a YouTube channel where I post all of my daily tips. So if you don't want to scroll through the Facebook page, you can go to the YouTube channel because after I post them here, I put them on the YouTube channel so you can find them there. We also have this buddy chat every Thursday at 5 o'clock, and it's a time where I just demo something that as a reminder or something that different that you can do. And then on the 10th, the 20th, and the 30th, I do a project on the 10s. It's at 10 o'clock in the morning, and usually the project will take about 10 minutes to do. I do a full demo on it, so the demo will take longer. But if you go to make it, it's not going to take you very long. They're simple patterns. But I think, you know what? We need simple things sometimes. We do so many hard things. We just need a breather, right? That's what I think. So let me answer a question. It says, let's see. Shelley wants to know if what the starfish fabric is for. It's for tomorrow morning for our project on the 10s. There is a zipper. And this is the fabric I am going to be demoing with. So you may be using something totally different when you go to make it, but this is just what I'm making, and it'll all make sense in the morning. Totally makes sense. Alice asked if they're supposed to have anything done prior to February 6th. The prep class is where I'm going to show you what you need to prep for the 13th. So no, you don't have to have anything done. You don't even have to have your fabric purchased yet. So on the 6th, I'm going to talk about the construction of the bag and probably tell you what parts I'll already have done before the class. And not that I want you to go do them, because it will really be better if you come to the class fresh, as in you haven't sewn anything yet, because there might be ways that I do it. You say, oh, now it makes sense. Okay. One thing that I am not going to demo in the class or on the 6th is quilting this fabric right here. I did this on the Solaris with the edge-to-edge quilting, and you can definitely have that part done because we're not going to talk about that on the 6th or the 13th. So if you have never done edge-to-edge quilting on your Solaris, I do have a class for that you can go in and learn how to do it. It's really easy. Alice, I know you've done it a lot and you love it. You've talked about that. But you don't necessarily have to have it done. So on the 13th, I'm hoping that you will watch and take notes, ask questions. You might be able to sew along with me, but you won't finish the bag that day. Because like I say, it's about a 10-hour bag because bags take a long time and there's a lot of steps to them. But you will know everything you need to know on the 13th so that you can finish it. And you'll have the recording. If you want to go back and watch a piece, you can go back and watch it. But I will be following very closely the pattern. Sometimes when I have a pattern in front of me, because I've made it several times, I don't always follow it step by step. Maybe I'll jump ahead a few steps and do something because I have that color of thread in already. But I try to stay with this. So I hope you can stick with me on that. And then if you have questions, I'm always here. My email address is barb@sewwithbarb.com. You are welcome to email me anything, and I will help you with whatever you need to have help with. And like I say on my website, if you have any serger, most of the sewing machines, most of the embroidery machines, I've got classes in there for those machines. And in those classes, some of them are 2-part classes, but every class on a machine that's a machine owner class has a project. So not only will you learn about your machine and learn the different things it does with the feet, that came with it, or anything else, then there's a project to go with it. So you're going to be able to use the things that you learned, which I think is pretty cool. Heidi says, I wrote on a pattern once the very same thing. Bags take a long time. Well, if you think about it, when you make a quilt and you take a quilting class for that quilt, because quilts have repetition through them, they probably show you 1 or 2 blocks. So that class is about 2 hours, and you're going to make 1 or 2 blocks. And there's some that are quilts of the month and blocks of the month, and you do a block each month. Imagine that one is a 12-hour class. Okay? That's why bags are a little bit different, because you want to see it finished, but you can't make it in one class. So this class will probably be 3 hours, hoping a little less, but I'll walk you through every step in making it so you won't be confused, you won't have any questions. I actually, if you have questions, I'm there. I want you to ask them, but they do take a long time. Kelly says, we have the 10s for quickie projects. I like quickie projects sometimes. When I was helping my boys I have 6 boys, and they all got their Eagle projects done. They did everything. They got all their Eagle badges in Scouts, and I loved it because there are so many merit badges they have to do. And someone suggested one time, one of his Scout leaders said, don't go through and do all the hard ones at once. He said, do a hard one, do a little one, do a hard one, do an easy one. And so that's kind of what Project on the 10s are. We just need that breather. We just need something we can do quick, that is fun, that you have a project, and maybe it's for a neighbor or a gift for a holiday or a graduation, or just something for yourself, something that's a little bit useful. In fact, tomorrow I'm going to bring some projects in that we've done in the past. If you have not done these with us before, you're going to say, oh, wow, that's kind of cool. I'm going to go back and learn how to do that one. So I'm going to bring some in tomorrow. I enjoy taking my time with projects and just enjoying the process of creating something, said Kelly. Lynn says, oh, you're so sweet that I'm helpful and good to answer questions even on Christmas Eve. You're funny, Lynn. I wasn't doing anything on Christmas Eve. My family didn't come until the next week. But thank you. Yes, I do want to help you if you have questions, especially on something we've done here. I've done it. I can help you. Okay? And if you have even started a project, even if it's one of my classes, and if you want to post a picture, if you're in a tight spot and you need help with that, you can email me or you can post it on Facebook. I can help you. All right? If I need to make a phone call, I'm there. I can do it. Okay? All right. I am so glad you've joined me tonight. And remember, tomorrow you got to be here live. And you have to say something, even if it's boo. Don't scare me though. Even if it's whatever, so that I know you're here. And then we're going to have a drawing. Exciting. All right. I'm going to say bye-bye for today. And I will see you early in the morning. And Valerie, I hope that you're here. I noticed that Valerie hasn't been here today. It's really late for her. But she usually makes it at our 10 o'clock ones. All right. Oh, Gayla, you're making a road trip soon. Where are you going, Gayla? Tell me where you're going. Are you coming back to Utah? You should. Oh, okay, Kelly. Say boo. Say whatever you want. If you're working, just come on and say something, okay? And then I'll know you're here and you'll be in the drawing. If you say something, you'll be in the drawing. Okay, I can't wait for tomorrow. It's going to be fun. All right, I will see you bright and early in the morning. Set your alarms. Don't miss it. Okay. Oh, all right, Gayla, you're coming to Utah? Okay, we're gonna have to meet up. All right. I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.